Okay, guys, I'm working in Illustrator right now, and I'm going to go over, again, how to turn an image into a vector. But I'm going to show you how to use it, how to do it using the pen tool. So instead of doing like a live trace, I'm going to show you the pen tool option that you have, okay? So I have my image here. Again, we want to turn it into a vector because it's not a very good quality image. It's very pixely. So to do that, I first click on the pen tool, which is located right here. The shortcut is P. Okay, I'm actually going to not select my image. Hold on. Okay, shortcut is P. And then you're going to actually click where you want to start. And you just have to click, and it creates a little anchor point. That's where you start. That's where you're going to end. Now you choose your next location. And I like to go where there's going to be about a new bend. So right here, it's pretty straight line, so I just click. Okay? Created a nice straight line. Now, I also, keep in mind, do not like to have a fill on there. Right now I have a fill, a white fill, because I like to see the image still. So just click no for that. And then I'm going to go to my next spot, which I want to be here. Now notice if I just click, it creates a straight line. I don't want that. So how do I create a curved line? That is a good question. So I'm going to click on this spot, but I'm going to hold. So I'm going to click, hold. Do you see how my mouse changed? And then I'm going to pull. So what I like to say is click, hold, and pull. And when you pull out, see how it created these handlebars? Nice. So now I have this nice little perfect curve that I can work with. Now, I'm going to show you what happens next, because notice I have two handlebars. This handlebar is not only working for this, but it's going to work for this. So if I just click here, let's say I want my next spot to be right here. Do you notice how it already creates a curve up top? And then once I click and pull and hold, I create a curve too, which makes it kind of hard to control. You have two options at this point. You can keep going and then go back in and adjust it, and I'll show you how to do that. Or let's say I don't want to create this curve over here. If I just click on the point right here, the anchor point, it gets rid of just that one handlebar, so you get to start anew right here. And so that's a lot easier if you're brand new to the pen tool and you're not, see I didn't do it again, but you're not familiar with how it works. Maybe it's best if you do go back in and click those anchor points so you can start anew. Curve each time. And then you're just going to go along the path. Right there, notice how I kind of clicked inside, and that's not going to help me. So if you mess up, just Control Z and you can start over. Probably want to go about right here to create this curve. Now this is a tool that you do need to get used to. So you're not going to get it right off the bat. I have become familiar with how the handlebars work and how the different tools work. So it's a lot easier for me. But it does require a lot of practice. So I highly recommend that you constantly are practicing on images, and even just simple images to start off with. I'm just going to close this off so I can go make this video a little bit shorter. But definitely practice with images, and the more you practice, the more familiar you're going to get with this, and the faster you will be at tracing items. But this tool is so helpful once you actually understand it, because you can do so much with it. Okay, so sorry, let me explain what I'm going to do now. So I have my basic image here. There are some things I would like to correct, like I don't like this bend right here, and I don't like this right here. So I want to go in and correct them. Now you have several options here. Your first option is to correct it with the direct select tool. So the direct select tool is right here. Its shortcut is A. Make sure nothing is selected. So right now all these dots are selected. Click off. Your path and then come back in and find your points, your anchor points. And the nice thing is it'll highlight the anchor points for you. So I have an anchor point, I click, now I can adjust my anchor point. Or I can take this handlebar way down on here to increase that. And it's, again, it's just practice and understanding where your anchors points are, understanding where your handlebars are, and how you want to adjust those. Oopsies. And so you can come in closer, you can bring your point down. But see how nice that was? I can just edit that easily. This one, I actually want to make this a straight line. So how do I make it a straight line? Because right now it's curved and it has these handlebars. Well, common sense would tell you you can just bring these in, but there's an easier way to do it. Your pen tool has several options underneath it, right? And so if you click and hold, it shows up these options. Add an anchor point, delete an anchor point, or convert an anchor point. And that's what I want to do. I want to convert this anchor point so it's straight. So if I just click on that, it automatically makes it a straight anchor point. Another thing, like let's say you want to make this more curved. If you click, hold, and pull, like you were doing with the pen tool, it'll give you handlebars now to work with. So you can do both. You can either make it straight, or you can bring, and it'll delete the handlebars, or you can bring the handlebars back in. Now if I'm going to go back to my pen tool, you'll notice underneath it has add an anchor point, like I said, subtract an anchor point. You can use those, but you don't necessarily need to, because if you just click on the pen tool itself, and if you come in here to paths, it will do it for you. See, I have an X right there. I'll zoom in way. I have an X on my pen tool right now. Watch what happens when I switch it to a path. It puts a plus sign, so I can add a point there, and bam, it adds a point. Now watch what happens when I go over an anchor point. It turns to a minus. So like let's say I don't even need this point and I want to delete it. I just click and it removes that point. So that's a nice feature about the pen tool too. Okay, so I mean, this I'd still probably come in here and clean it up some more, but those are the basics of the pen tool. Now if I wanted to, I can come in here and delete my image, and I have a hammer trace, and I can go in here now and I could add some colors to it. I could add anchor points right here to separate it, but I have a basic trace down. I can turn this into a silhouette. I can do whatever I want with it at this point. It's a vector object and it can go as big as it needs to. Okay? Great. Thanks, guys.